Hello everyone, thanks for pressing play. Brian here, Fitzpatrick's Garage, Dublin Road, Kildare. I want to show you this car here. This is a 2018 Honda HR-V and this is what's called an ES model. We know this car really well because we actually sold it brand new and we've serviced it since every year as well. In this video, we're going to have a look around the features on the outside of the car and we're going to have a look at the features on the inside and we're going to go for a drive as well. But let's start off on the outside. First thing, this car, it actually has privacy glass, which is technically not standard on these, so that is an upgrade, and all HR-Vs then have this nice spoiler up on the top of the boot lid. The rear taillights are a nice LED finish, and on the rear of the car then, because it's an ES model, you'll also have things like parking sensors, and the wheels are a lovely diamond cut finish. So especially on a day like today, see the way they're really shiny and reflective under sunlight or artificial lighting at night time as well. This car also has side steps as well, which are pretty rare, and they're cool side steps for a reason being they look nice because, you know, they make the middle of the car look a bit lower to the ground, which is always aggressive, and you have nice patterns along the back there as well. But you see the front where you get in and out, they're a little bit thinner, so it doesn't actually dirty your trousers when you're getting in and out. And the silver bits that are on the wheels and the side steps also match these nice silver door handles. The key has some pretty neat tricks as well, so if you have the lights on the car and you hit the lock button, after approximately maybe 15-20 seconds, the lights will actually turn off themselves, or literally you can use the key to turn the lights back on, and also then you can use the key to let the windows down, and similarly then you can also use the key to let the windows back up as well, and if you see, it also retracts those wing mirrors as well. Moving on to the front of the car then, you're going to have parking sensors which match the ones that are on the back, and there's nice little black sections on the bumper just to bring it a bit lower to the ground, and as you see, it's got the chrome along the front of the grille which matches up those other bits and pieces we saw already, and auto headlights which come on themselves at night time when it gets dark, and they dip when you meet traffic as well. Anyway, let's have a look around the features on the inside. So in the boot of the car, this car is probably comparable to something like a Nissan Qashqai, which is quite a popular car, so the boot's actually really big in them. The other thing as well then, if you want, you can take out that cover and absolutely load up stuff in the back, and then if you want you can also drop down the seats and you end up with basically a small van in terms of access, so it's quite flexible. And down underneath there's actually a little bit more storage where you can hide stuff as well, or if you want to buy a spare wheel. The seats are magic, which means you can lock it in place, and that means now you have a tall mode, so in other words then, if you have something awkward and high you want to transport, it's quite useful. The seats in the back actually have a reclining function, so it makes it a bit more comfortable for adults. And in terms of what's in the back, you're going to have an armrest in through there, and there's nice designs on the doors, so nice bits of leather, electrics for windows, chrome on the door handles, and chrome surrounds around the speakers, as well as a child lock for the window and the rear door. The rear door is actually, in terms of access, it's got a really cool recessed door handle on the outside, and when you sit into the back of these cars, there is a ridiculous, I mean really, like this, I'm actually sitting behind myself. Look at the amount of legroom I have. It is so weird for a car, like we're saying to you, there is bigger cars like the Sportage and the Qashqai and Tucson and all that kind of stuff. The legroom is actually better in this car. Over my head then, I'm going to have things like nice little LED lights up through here as well. Okay, one thing I will say, in terms of width overall, for 3 people across the back, it's a bit tight. It is doable, but I have to say, I think it's a little bit tight. But for legroom, for 4 people, my God, in the back, and the way the seats kind of reclined as well, it's a big help too. And then when I'm sitting in the back of the car, this is the kind of view that I'm going to have around me. And down through the centre then, I've got a little drinks holder here with a 12-volt power point in through there as well. Moving into the front then, you got electrics for windows and mirrors on the door, and a similar kind of design with little bits of chrome around the handles and the speakers. And then the seats are nice, and actually they're really nice condition, these ones, but they're nice and supportive, and you got height adjuster and stuff like that as well. And we'll have a look around the dash. So in terms of when you sit into the car, this is exactly what you're going to see. Nice big bright white clocks. Down to the right hand side, you got things like, we'll say, parking sensors, you got an eco button to reduce how aggressive the cruise control is, you got lane change warning to warn you if you drift out of lane, things like the alarm. And after that then, in terms of the centre binnacle over here, revolution counter, speed, and lots of information in through a trip computer, which is controlled in the bottom right of the steering, which is giving you things like average speed, fuel efficiency, how much fuel is left in the car, and things on the steering wheel actually include cruise control, but it's also got speed limiter, and it's got a speed limiter which is governed by speed sign. So when it sees a speed sign, it'll actually respect it. Automatic wipers are over here on the right hand side as well, and then when you get onto the left hand side of the steering wheel, you're going to have auto lights and also things like controls for mobile phone and radio. The seat is height adjustable as you'd expect, and the steering wheel has a rake reach function, so it go in, out, up, down as well. Obviously there's driver's airbag, passenger airbag over here, airbags up high, but even things like it's got anti-whiplash head restraints, so your head doesn't go too far backwards if someone hits you from behind in an accident. The doors are also going to have side impact protection beams, and there's curtain airbags up high as well. In terms of the radio, it actually gives you audio aids with the parking sensors, so it tells you if something's in front of you, or it also tells you if something's behind you to go with that audio noise as well. In terms of the radio itself, it's got touch and swipe, so it's like an Android phone, but it's compatible with all devices. So it's going to give you things like your audio, it's going to give you phone, but it even got things like an internet browser, calendar, clock, all that kind of stuff as well. Underneath, you'll have things like your climate control, which is dual zone, so different temperatures on each side of the car, front and rear windscreen demisters as well. The gear stick is a little bit behind that, and it's really nice to use. You'll see when you go for a drive, it's sweet where it is, and it's actually sweet to use too. And behind that then you got an automatic park brake, which releases itself, but it also has a brake hold function if you want it to hold you on hills. There's some storage back here, which are actually drinks holders, and they've got varying heights, and behind that again there's an armrest with some storage in through there as well. In terms of USB connectors and all that kind of stuff, they're housed just under this tunnel, which is 2 USB connectors, HDMI and also power. In terms of how these cars drive, well, this car is designed in a way that it gives you an SUV feel, but it's really nimble like a smaller car. So what you end up with then is a car that feels like an SUV in terms of visibility and high driving position and all that kind of stuff, but it's nimble in a car park. It's just nimble in terms of manoeuvring it anywhere, I guess. So that is what people want. They don't want a car that feels like an SUV, but they want an SUV. But you know what? It actually does it well. But for me, as an idiot, I love driving the car because I really like, that's just a lane change warning which tells me if I'm drifting out my lane. But what I really love is the engine, the gearbox. It's an angry, eager little engine, so it is. The 1.5 with 130 horsepower. Let's see what it's like going onto the motorway from 0 to 120 kilometers an hour. Let's try that again. A little bit of wheel spin there. First gear. So like what we're saying, this car is nimble, it's high off the ground, it is easy to manoeuvre, and you can see there, I think it's fun to drive as well. There's a lovely gearbox, it accelerates well, I like the engine, it's really eager. So in my opinion, it's going to suit somebody that basically wants a car that's got a high driving position, it feels like an SUV, but they want something that's easy to park, and you know what, something that's actually really, really reliable, and it's actually well equipped as well. As you can see, we actually have some nice deals on this car if you're looking at it from things like Cars Ireland, Cars Zone or Dundee or whatever. Anyway, if there's information you want in the car, you want to know how any of the deals work, call, text, WhatsApp, whatever suits, 086 843 1945. Brian is my name, and we are Fitzpatrick's Garage, a family-run business in operation for almost 70 years. If the video's been useful and you're watching on YouTube, please do like and subscribe, or if there's something I've missed, let me know in the comment section below. And if there's anything you want to know about the car, please do give me a shout on the phone like what we said, and hopefully the video's been useful and hopefully the car's of interest.